working, y'all. I'm over here rehearsing for this domino tournament. Now I got this obligation.
Why are you going to Cabo and I'm going to Compton?
Oh, I hope you got 9 lives.
I want the whole world to see me whoop that tweaking bullet.
And so when Miss Jeffries cash that check, then we can go.
I ain't seen you in a good minute, bro.
Prince, we just want to know where you're going, mija.
To practice for the domino tournament.
The second round of the NBA playoffs is here, and the action is increasing from game to game.
Every day of the basketball playoffs, DraftKings is hooking you up with a free shot at up to $10,000 in total prizes through the free-to-play pools.
Up to $10,000 in total prizes up for grabs each day, and the best part, it's free.
DraftKings free-to-play pools are easy to play. Download the DraftKings app, check out their pools page, and have your choice at a wide variety of contests for an opportunity to win cash prizes.
All you got to do is answer a handful of questions based on what you think is going to happen during that particular day's NBA games.
Questions like, which team will hit the most threes, or which team will score first?
DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable, so you can deposit and withdraw your funds at your convenience.
Download the top-rated DraftKings app now and use promo code SMOKE when you sign up to get your free shot at $10,000 in total prizes every day of the basketball playoffs.
Get your shot at huge cash prizes using the promo code SMOKE.
For a limited time only at DraftKings.
Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for more details. Welcome back to another edition of All the Smoke.
My brother, how are you?
I'm good, man. Yourself?
Couldn't be better.
Yes, man. We got a good one today. Y'all been asking for this man. We've been asking for this man, and he just popped up on us today, unexpected, and blessed us. And he's still looking for his weed. Baron Davis.
Boom Dizzle.
Appreciate you, man.
BB4L.
My dogs, what's up, man?
What's up, Brody?
This is a dope-ass show. Well, I just want to give you y'all roses. Y'all doing the damn thing, and motherfuckers out here need to pay attention because this is like some new shit, you know what I mean? And y'all really get into the hardest shit. Asking like, I watch y'all motherfuckers go from like can't even read, you know what I mean? Matt dropped out of school. You know what I mean? No, but you graduated and dropped out, and he never went to school. And so to see y'all to be able to do this, man, it's like, this is my favorite show. Me and Turn be at the studio, back to back. This is the one.
Shout out
You
Turn.
graduated, but you dropped out?
Yeah.
And I didn't go to school.
Right.
He went to school.
But I didn't go to school.
And he got a degree and he went to class, you know what I mean? But he just like...
But he wasn't in there.
Once he was done with school, he just like, fuck it, I don't want nothing.
BD, 2020 was crazy. What was one thing you took from 2020?
Really just like get back to being who I wanted to be. You know what I mean? And like learn to appreciate what I have, appreciate the time that I got with my kids and shit like that. And then I would say like on a macro standpoint, it's like I'm looking at this world and I'm looking at Black people and I'm like, yo, we got an opportunity to like actually be who we are supposed to be. And our generation got a chance to pioneer that shit, and it started with this young man right here. And I'm just so proud of him for that. So it was just like, he set the standard, and then, you know, I'm like, fuck it, we gotta figure it out.
I mean, what was your thought when you seen, this dude, you know, our brother led the biggest protest in the history of our country.
Man,
all 50 states, 16 countries?
18.
18 countries. What were your thoughts when you seen this dude on TV?
I was praying for him.
Yeah.
I was praying for him. I was like, yo, you found like, I was praying for him, and I remember I called, I was like, dog, you found it. This is your thing.
Calling,
you
right.
feel what I'm saying? Like, this your calling, homie, and like, can't nobody take that shit away because who's been through worse shit. You know what I mean? Who's like more forgiving, right? Who's more at peace with himself and at peace with God. So go out there and walk, bro. I'm gonna be here praying for you. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be here trying to figure out how to make all this shit move on the back end, on my end. You know what I mean? So it was hella inspiring. I was like, yo, you gonna win a Nobel. Remember I called you? I was like, man, nigga, you gonna win a Nobel Peace Prize, bro. I'm telling you, keep that shit going.
He did tell me that shit too, bro.
Imagine that. That'd be dope. I mean, obviously, you know, social justice is something we've been in. You made a very heartfelt post the other day about the Asian hate and how it needs to stop. What are your thoughts on, like I said, as a black community, you feel that we have a chance to advance right now, but still at the same time, there's stuff that brings us back down to reality daily, such as these random hate crimes between, people abusing elder Asians, people abusing the Latino, street workers.
Yeah.
What is your thought with all that stuff?
Man, I just think that for us and where we at, like it's time for us to like come together and bring people with us, right? And so when I made that statement, it's like I got Asian homies who are my brothers. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like
We all
I got
do.
Asian homies and Asian homegirls and like families that like took care of me. You know what I mean? And companies I invested in, and I know what they trying to do. And I was a part of this Stop the Hate or Hate is a Virus, the campaign, and to me, it just really meant something because those are our people, right?
Mhm.
And the stereotypes that we've been perpetuating against blacks and Mexicans, blacks and Asians,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Like it's time for us to say, nah, we ain't going for that shit no more. Like these are folks, you know what I mean? And these are people, and that's why I stood up because I feel like fuck it. If they gonna do that, then let's all go ball. You know how I am. Like, all right, let's all go gang up. And now what's happening? You know what I'm saying?
Because
So
we really all in the same circle. I mean, any kind of minority, we in the same kind of fight. You know
Yep.
what I mean? So they, we might as well.
yeah,
be
but I
together.
always say the minority,
Is the majority.
man.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
They label us the minority to try to keep us on our place.
Just try
but
and
we're
keep
the
us in
majority.
boxes.
We definitely the majority. Tell us about your upbringing. South Central. Grandma was very influential in your life. Tell us about your upbringing.
Man, just grew up kind of like the worst way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I grew up the worst way, but also the best way. I was trying to explain to somebody who was like I I didn't have nothing, but I did not not have without. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like I
yeah.
had everything I needed
Mm-hmm.
and the love, but like I didn't have that shit, when I walked out my grandparents' house.
Right.
Everything else was tricky, everything else was janky.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You seeing like, I'm in the
Middle of it.
it's Gotham Park.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? I'm saying a Crip walk his daughter to go get a free lunch, then get mopped for 2 blocks, come back, they shooting. We still on the court. We laughing about it. We kids like hide behind buildings, but in the moment, you ain't thinking about it. You laughing because this shit normal. You playing football. And the homie say, hey man, if y'all say hike, we gonna shoot. We gonna shoot y'all ass up. And they're like, hey, fool, you better say hike. You know what I mean? So you say hike, they have BB guns. So just like stupid shit that's like hella traumatizing.
but was normal.
Well, like hella normal, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
The shit was
yeah.
just like it couldn't get no worse,
Mhm.
right? And so the love inside my grandma and grandpa house, it couldn't be no better. You know what I mean? And so that was like my escape growing up.
That real love.
Man, so I got to see the good and the worst in just the hierarchy in the hood. You feel what I'm saying? Like how to live and be there for 70 years and all that shit. And then like, okay, these motherfuckers over here, they ain't got too long.
That
You
ain't
feel what I'm saying?
On the clock.
Yeah, oh man.
That ain't it. Well, talk to us about growing up in that environment and then going to somewhere like Crossroads. How'd that come about, and how did that shape you as an adult?
Yeah, shout out to Thad McGrew.
Thad.
I just directed a documentary called Dreamers Endures for K-Swiss, and Thad worked at K-Swiss, and he had an AAU team, and he saw the point guard at Crossroads was like 5'6", and he was like, yo, Barron can go there. Like, he would be a good dude to be around white people.
Mm-hmm.
Because he had went to like a integrated school. So he was like, yo, he probably need a chance to like be out this shit and be around white people. And now my grandmother, one of my good friends, got killed on a bus stop the year before I graduate from 6th grade. So like shit is hot. You know what I mean? And she like, we gotta figure out a way to like not put this fool on the bus. You know what I mean? Like I'm hearing the conversations, but it's only, you still gotta get on the bus, my nigga.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? And like that bus stop is hot. That's the hottest bus stop, from 2:00 to 8:00 in the morning. You know what I mean? And so Thad was like, yo, what about Crossroads? So my grandfather, rest in peace, he was in his last year living. He used to get up in the morning, bro. I'll show y'all how good God is, and drive me to Manchester and Crenshaw. Dad used to come from Inglewood, pick me up on Manchester and Crenshaw, take me to Crossroads, right? Then come back, double back, and go all the way to Burbank. And so it was like an experiment. I learned a lot of shit. I learned a lot of shit about just like race in general.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? At Crossroads. Like my homeboy, and I don't even know if I can say this shit, but my homeboy taught me how to, tag and draw gang signs. And the nigga taught me how to make a swastika. So I'm in class, I'm just like doodling and shit, and the girl start crying. And I'm like, what? She's like, you're crazy, da-da-da-da-da. And that's when I learned, like, damn, that's not good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I learned a lot of things from Crossroads, right? I learned a lot of things. I learned, like, what a gay person really was. You know what I mean? Like, as far as, like, in the hood is one thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
But then over here, it was, like, celebrating. I was trying, and then it made me understand why the kid in my neighborhood was like that. But also, like, you'll get mopped fucking with him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or her. Like,
mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? But she it was a lot of animosity, like, as he was transitioning to her. And he used to fuck people up. You know what I mean? And so I learned that from Crossroads. You know what I mean? I started learning about other cultures and, like, breaking down stereotypes because they was asking me to who was I. So I had to break down my stereotype too. So that was kind of like how God kind of worked and got me in that school. It was Thad basically saying he could play at a 5'3" point guard in high school at Crossroads.
Talk to us about the basketball side. You started off a small dude. We was talking before you even got here, like Little Baron grew. Talk to us about just your game and your growth.
I just love the game. I always had a crazy imagination. I was 5'3" in 9th grade, 5'5", 130 pounds in 10th grade, like 5'8" or 5'9" in 11th. And I kept growing. And once I think I was in 10th grade, I was like 5'5", 5'6". I dunked on and once I figured out I could dunk, I started like playing my teammates one-on-one and shit and started dunking on them. And like once I figured out like, oh shit, I can dunk like I dunk on the dunk courts, it was over. And then, I would say just basketball wise, like being small, like I always had heart, I always had defense, like, but it's just like once I started growing and shit, you playing with the pros now at UCLA, you know what I mean? You traveling. I was going to, man, I'm trying to catch a fade anywhere I can. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to catch a fade. And I remember in Crossroads, my senior year, I used to drive from Crossroads to Long Beach. And because Pat Barrett had the gym open, and Tyson Chandler and Keelan was my little dog, Cedric Bozeman. So I used to go practice with them in Long Beach. And then I, circle back, come home, sleep. And that was like my routine. I was just hungry for a gym. You know what I'm saying?
Your AAU experience, what was that like? Because you played in a time when AAU basketball in LA was heavy. A lot of big hitters was coming out of this way. What was that experience like?
It was dope. It was dope because you got Corey, you got like Pat Barrett, got Jelani, Shea, Losing Me Man, Jason Hart, like they was stacked. You know what I'm saying? And it was like really like the first wave of AAU. So you had a Nike team, an Adidas team, you had Slam and Jam, and then we was K-Swiss, and we had Paul. And so it was like the first time people like really started recruiting dudes. Like we flew KG out to LA, you know what I mean, to play with us in Vegas.
He was telling us the story. Now I want to hear your version of it because he was telling us too.
Yes, all right. So Thad, we wanted Thad was like, yo, we gonna get Tim Thomas. Cause I used to ride with Thad all the time. He was like, we gonna get Tim Thomas. I was like, oh shit. So I used to like read these dudes in magazine. And he was like, no, I seen this dude in South Carolina, this dude, Kevin Garnett, he gonna be the #1 player in the country. And I was like, man, all right, cool. Like, so Kevin Garnett flying in. So Kevin Garnett get there, and this is, he get to the gym before us. This fool got all kind of K-Swiss, bro. This nigga got a whole, like maybe like 20 boxes. I don't know if he told y'all. Niggas walking the gym like, yo, who is it? Who is this dude? This nigga the #1 player in the country? Man, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? So everybody everybody is saying that, and he just over there, so, man, practice start, bro. And we was younger, so we practiced against Turn, Paul. So they used to always get us, but for some strange reason, like, they was beating the shit out of us. You know what I mean? And Kevin Garnett was blocking our three-pointers. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, he was standing in, like, damn near in the dotted, and I pull up for a three, and he was jumping and smacking that shit, dude. I swear to God, it was crazy. And then everybody was like, okay, we see why he the number one player. You know what I mean? Like, this is my dog. And then they took me home that night, and he was obsessed with Menace to Society. I remember that. And he kept saying, like, I'd take a double burger with cheese. We took him to rallies. That was like his first time at rallies. Yeah. It was me, him, and Paul in the car. And like I was saying, it's crazy to see how they bond was. You know what I mean? Like, because they was older, so you can see them bonding. And now for them to play on the same team with the Celtics and win it, it was like they won it in Vegas together. We was all able to see that. But like KG, like kind of like he just opened everybody's eyes. You know what I mean? Like his energy, terms start picking
That's
up.
His claim to fame.
My God,
Lord,
but he
that's
just
his claim to fame.
Bro, he made everybody
I played with KG, I was the point guard. That's his claim to fame. That's all he was talking about.
Turn was the dictator. Turn was the dictator. Turn was hard. Turn was like my big bro who I like, we played in the same backcourt, but he was older. So when he went and played with the older squad, like I was ride or die. So I like when you see me play, and like, when I lose it, you know what I mean? I am very similar to Turn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so he kind of like, that's how like I'm like took kind of him, a couple of my homies, like that gangster mentality, you know what I mean? It's just like, yo, all right, dog, like fuck the game. Let's just go outside. You know what I mean? Like I want to be that mad. Or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, not like Turn, you know what I mean?
So you picked up every accolade you possibly can. 97 Gatorade Player of the Year, McDonald's All-American, Sprite Slam Dunk Contest, Mr. Basketball. Headed to UCLA. Who else was recruiting you? Was there ever a chance for anyone else?
Duke. I was gonna go to Duke for real. But Coach K, his mom was sick. I think he wrote about me in his book, but I don't fuck with Coach K. He a sucker to me. On my mama. His mom was sick. And, you're a young high school kid. You like, fuck, dog. Coach K is like, he's everything. I'm rocking Duke shit. But when his mom got sick, like, it made me miss my grandma. And like, Quinn Snyder, that's my dog. You know what I mean? Because he was just like the dude I was like, man, I'm ride or die fucking with. Like, I'm fucking with what Coach K and Quinn Snyder and you know what I mean? Whatever they got, like that shit gonna take me to the moon. You know what I mean? But when Coach K mom was sick, that made me be like, damn, dog, I can't leave home. You know what I mean? And at the same time, it was a lot of shit. Other shit going on in LA too. That was just like, if I leave and some shit happen, I ain't gonna feel good. So I might as well be here. And if some shit happen, at least I'm here to try and stop it, or you know what I mean, and like take my people and my more importantly my family into another space.
You have one of the most memorable, legendary recruiting trips to UCLA. Can you tell us about it?
I when we got into the squad. That one.
I mean, whatever story you want to tell.
Hey, dog, that shit was crazy, dude. We just, hey, bro, I go up there all the time. Now, on my visit, they decide we went and played flag football with the softball team, and they beat us. And then we was just hanging out, and we go to the baseball. It was like a frat house, and next thing you know, like it was a big ass tussle, and dog, we pop, pop, pop. We just boxing with like 40 dudes, 40 big old baseball dudes. And it was me, him, and him. I ain't
right.
You know what I'm saying? But like I remember I was standing on the little ledge and dudes was coming out. Sit down. Sit down.
On your recruiting trip.
Hey, bro, my recruiting trip. And it was like damn near like, it was like all UCLA students. I was confused, but like I was right in the mix, you know what I mean? And so it was like 50, it was like almost like 50 dudes. It was like 8 or 9 of us. And, you know, we was just trying to make peace. And I got into a fight on my first day of school too. The day before school, we got into a fight with some dudes.
That's when you came from in front of the dorms?
Yeah. Let them know what time it is, okay?
You remember what happened the first time we met? What we was doing when we first checked in the hotel?
We was throwing soap off the...
So we get to the hotel. We had...
How old are y'all?
We 15, 16, right?
Hey, dude, I don't know why I was involved in that. That was like really out my character, but.
We was 15, 16. We check in our hotel. We find absolutely nothing to do. So we on about the 15th floor, bro. We go get all the lotion and soaps out the bathroom and start chunking at people in the lobby.
It was one of them open hotels?
Yeah,
where you can see down.
Like it was the best thing in the world, dog. We stole some shoes, too.
Me, him, and Kenny Bruner.
What about you said you told before he got here, you said one day he picked you up and had you ride through the hood doing everything you shouldn't have been doing.
I was telling him, I say, this how I got introduced to California. You, Jason Thomas, and Kenny Bruner. And y'all had me everywhere I wasn't supposed to be in LA.
All day. That's all we knew, though.
Everywhere I wasn't supposed to be. Facts.
Shout out Kenny Bruner, though, man.
But besides, shout out Kenny Bruner, Jason Thomas, that's all the clique, Luge. Besides being close to home, what else attracted you to UCLA, besides being home?
Just like I was there every day. My sister had worked there. And I got to, they had Jelani, Chris Johnson, Toby, and I was like, damn, I'm about to walk in and like be able to like rock with these dudes, you know what I mean, and have a chance to win a national championship. I'm home. And all my little homeboys that I was like jugging, extra tickets, like, man, like just put your name on the recruiting list just for all of the LA dudes to be able to come to the UCLA games. It was like, I can't lead them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So maybe I can be the dude that like make the LA guards start staying home and shit like that. Cause like Luge was coming. We was trying to get Jason Hart to leave Syracuse and come. So we was just gonna be guard, you know what I mean? It was gonna be guard university again, especially you got Jelani, you got, you know what I mean? You got Chris Johnson, Toby Bailey, J.R. Henderson. They had a whip already, you know what I mean? So it was like, yo, I can step into this and like, we got a chance. But them niggas fucked it up. Goddamn.
Outside of the
fucked up my national championship. Fucking with these niggas, man.
Outside of the basketball part, he said should have went to Duke. You were kind of like your aura, kind of like your status. Like Barron was kind of like the Godfather there, even though he was like maybe 1 year older than us. But like on road trips, we go see Barron if you needed some money. He used to love that shit. Like BD, let me hold a couple. What you need? He pull out a big old stack of money. And BD was the first one with the dope car, the dope apartment, the leather TVs, the bitch. Like Barron, was living, bro.
You got to ask. I pull up in the S500 on some 22s in the summertime with the pros. They was like, you gotta go home, bro. That is not, you know what I mean? Hey, bro, I'm from here. This how we get
the
out.
first big body expedition on 20s or 22s I seen. It was Barron.
Remember I had them speakers in the back? So I had some janky ass speakers. So we used to go to the Roxy. Remember that? We used to pull up to the Roxy. But the speakers were cut off. So you have to go in the back seat and slam the back door for the shit to come back on.
Had a short.
Hey, dog. So we pulling out Sunset, passing Doheny, sugar free. That shit smacking. As soon as we get in front of the club. Like, nigga, open the door, close the door. Bam. You always trying to floss in college and shit. And niggas was always like, left hanging right outside the club. It was fucked up. That car was fucked up. And Todd had the purple people leader. Todd had a purple blazer, bro. The color of Barney. The niggas, people used to take that on dates. That used to be like your first date car. And then if you like her, you come get my car, but you make sure you slam that back door.
Earl had that red PT killer. He almost ran somebody over when he first got it. Remember the PT Cruisers first came out?
Jelani had a car that had tickets on it. You didn't know it was a Jeep, but you couldn't tell what color it was because it had so many tickets. They never touched the car. Rico was like that too.
You talking about one of our producers, Jelani? That's sitting right over here?
This Jelani right here. He had so many tickets. He had a boot. I remember I got a boot before the Syracuse game. Remember that?
Yeah.
That shit was fucked up. I got a boot. I pulled in the tunnel, thought I was flossing. They gave me a boot, dog. I had to go.
Had his car stuck down in the tunnel.
Hey, Dick Vitale, all these dudes walking in like, yo, I think your car got a boot. 1,800, dog. I had to go pay them parking tickets.
That shit was fun. You had a you posted some recently, but I remember when it happened when Jay-Z wore your jersey that summer, the black one. Talk to us about that. I mean, you were always really in touch with that outside celebrity world. Like you was, I mean, like you said, because you was from LA. You know what I mean? You had the heartbeat of LA. So
yeah, the homie Ivory came over. He had brought hip hop, and so
who you still cool with today?
Yeah, that's my dog.
Ivory Manning.
Yeah, Ivory Manning.
Shout
so
out
hip hop
Ivory.
was like, man, what y'all drinking on? We was like, nigga, Twinkle Toes. We used to call Andres Twinkle Toes. Like, you know, nigga, what's that?
That's $7.
You know, we pour it in the
bottle.
cup, pour it in the glass. That shit looked like Chris. I was like, oh, this some LA shit. So he was like, nigga, that's Andres. Nigga, y'all ain't drinking no. He was like, no, y'all ain't drinking no Cristal or Moet. Like, we cool. I was like, oh shit, nigga, we in college. We ain't doing it like that. And so he was like, yo, you want to go meet Jay-Z? Jay-Z want to wear your jersey? And I was like, for real? He was like, hell yeah, Jay-Z. Because at the time, people was like, it was right before people started really rocking jerseys. So we go to Cafe Mez. We all pull up. As many can fit in the car, dog. We walk in, kicked it for a little bit, said what's up to Jay. I gave him my black UCLA jersey. And then
that
I
was
gave
the
him
black
my white
jersey they hated too.
Hey, dog, the black
UCLA,
jerseys
they were
was
so
fire.
cold,
They were so
bro,
mad at me,
but
dog.
the tradition, the older heads, they hated that jersey too. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I gave him the black one, and then I gave him my white one, and he was like, oh, yeah, appreciate you, dog. Like, I fuck with y'all. And, like, the whole team, we saw him pull off in his range. And then we went to the concert, and then at the concert, he popped up with the jersey. Everybody was going crazy.
That shit was dope.
But it was dope. I got a chance to meet, like, Method Man and Redman. I remember at the time, I was like, man, I fuck with you, Redman. He was like, you fuck with me, my nigga? I was like, hell yeah. He was like, drink, and gave me some Hennessy. I was like, that shit was not
name
cool.
keep coming up, bro.
That's crazy. Yesterday, right?
The name keep coming
Redman
up.
was a
Red
G.
and Meth, yeah.
I forgot who else was there, but like it was a bunch of people when we was like backstage. That shit was cool. And Jay-Z showed us a lot of love, and he had always showed love. You know, he always been like a solid dude. You know what I'm saying?
Thoughts of this year's UCLA team and how they performed?
I liked them, man. I thought that they were consistent with who they were the whole year. I thought, you know, with all the adversity that they had been through, they made it to the Final Four. They got a diverse team. You know what I mean? The coach is like a dude like you want to play for. You know what I mean? Like I want a coach that's like into it and into his players and into winning and coaching you up. And like they love him. For us as UCLA, as like an alumni, former player, shit like that, it kind of make you put your guard down. You know what I mean? And be like, yo, I ain't shit right now. Let's pour all our energy into these dudes. And then so, you know, they don't know what they did, but they brought a lot of dudes together. Because a lot of us like love UCLA. You know, we live and breathe UCLA, right? We all want to be connected. And that gave everybody else that wasn't playing opportunity to reconnect, you know, especially during the pandemic and shit. When you feel like you lost, it's like, yo, okay, I still got a home. So now I'm going back to school, shit. You know, I done signed up to go back to school. I saw Kenny Donaldson. So I'm like, all right, bro, I got like 15%. Yeah, I got to finish.
You gonna go back on campus?
Mm-hmm.
Earl did that. I was thinking about doing it. I just got too busy.
We got to do it, dog. You know what I mean?
Dope.
Like, shit.
My 40-year-old college students on campus.
Like Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Back to school.
So you decide 2 years, first year, great freshman year, Pac-10 freshman of the year, you hurt your knee in the tournament. My freshman year is your sophomore year. You come in the season a little bit late on one leg at the beginning, but was still absolutely amazing. I remember that Washington game where you went behind your back one play, made the fat dude jump all the way out the way.
And
I
was
think
gonna beat him up before the game.
Yeah.
Still was on that, huh?
Remember me and you almost fought the whole crowd in Oregon that one time because they beat us and they rushed the court and they was trying to bully us. And then
not having that.
Dunked on Todd McCullough, so tough. So you decided to take your talents from UCLA to the NBA. Why did you feel like it was time?
I wanted to come back, dude. I needed some money, bro. You know what I mean? It was like, that was it. I needed the money and I didn't want to get hurt. But I did want to come back because we had lost in the first round. I was like, damn, dog. But, you know, going to the league was like always a dream. Like, but I really wanted to stay I wanted to stay one more year because if y'all don't remember, dog, I used to call y'all motherfuckers all the time. Like, yo, I hate it out here, bro. I'm averaging 16 minutes a game coming off the bench. This is no fun, homie. But it taught me a lot. And I think like being around Eddie Jones, rest in peace, Bobby Fields, going through that, you know what I mean? And then like never starting. It made me so hungry that next year, dog. When I came back to LA, I was just like, whoever want to fade, let's go, bro. I'm taking I'm lining people up in the gym. I started bringing all the high school kids to the gym with me, lining them up, you know, and I was just on a mission to like, you know, I'm determined to be somebody after that rookie year, but I didn't really want to go. And so I think that kind of like fuck with me my whole rookie year because I was like, and then y'all made a run in the tournament. It was just like that shit was just always like, yo, I should have been home. But it actually made me a man.
I mean, third pick in the draft, you go to Charlotte. Rip Hamilton told a funny story about draft day, how you made him fire his agent because you came into his room or he was in a room with you and you gave him the whole rundown of what happened and it happened. And he's like, how the fuck did Barron know?
Hey, fucking Rip, dog. We was cause we was just all hanging out. And, you know, I'm nosy, bro. So I'm like, yo, what's going on in the draft? What's the movement? And then we was all just kind of kicking it. You know how dudes be like popping shit. So I go knock on Rip. Like, hey, bro, like, I think you about to go to Washington. He was like, fuck you mean? Like, who told you that? I was like, man, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
You know what I mean? I'm telling you, dog, like, you know what I'm saying?
Trust
like, you ain't really, you know, that's what, you know, trust me. Trust me, dog, I got your back. I found out it was like the day before because we was all walking in the lobby. And you know, the day before the draft, they start really like placing dudes and like placing the trades and shit like that. And I was into all that shit. So I kept calling Arn because I was trying to get traded to the Lakers. And so I remember Arn was going back and forth with Charlotte. He was like, look, man, if you draft him, what if he goes overseas? What if he does this? And Paul Silas said, if he there, we're going to draft him. And he going to show his ass up. And so I was like, man, if we could just pull off a trade. And then the Vancouver thing happened with Steve Francis. And like I was trying to get in the mix of that. So I just like start finding out where everybody was going to be positioned. And I start telling everybody. And Rip was like, how the fuck you learn? He was the only one who was like, yo, how the fuck you know this shit? And he was pissed. And he did fire his agent.
What was the Steve
He didn't
Francis?
need him anyway. Shit.
Nah, not at all.
He was lying to him. Rip knew.
He was definitely a pioneer in that space too. We'll get to that later. What was the Steve Francis shit? He got drafted by Vancouver and wouldn't go, right?
Yeah, he wouldn't go. So that was supposed to be like I was trying to get in that. Like, oh, I ain't going either. You know what I mean?
He went what? He went two.
He went
right?
two.
Right.
Yeah. So Steve basically forced Vancouver's hand, and then that's how Steve wound up in Houston with Michael Dickerson, and that's how the Houston thing started. So because Vancouver already had Mike Bibby.
Right.
You know what I mean? So Steve was like, why the fuck am I going to Vancouver with Mike Bibby? And they had Sharif, I believe. Like they had a squad. You know what I mean? They had a squad.
Preseason with Vancouver.
And Vancouver was a great city, but then when they did that, it kind of like that was the fall of Vancouver. Like, cause it was just like it wasn't gonna hold. Like they were saying, it wasn't gonna hold superstar.
Welcome to the NBA moment. What is it?
Probably John Stockton.
He cooked you?
He like stole the ball from me like 3 times.
Oh, he didn't cook you, just stole the ball from you?
He just like imagine like just getting in the game and you look up trying to get an inbound pass and that shit gone. You think you got to steal and it's like, oh man, I got to steal and that shit gone. And then like I was only in the game for like, I could have played like 8 minutes that night. But like them first 2 minutes, it was just turnover, bucket, and one. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Go back in, the same shit. You just couldn't find him, bro. It was almost like it was embarrassing.
He one of the smartest.
And then I would say the other one was Stephon Marbury. He was killing us. But I was, I'm a rookie coming off the bench. And he did something. He was like, yeah, and one. And he looked at me. He was like, yeah, you don't want none of this. You can't guard me. And Eldon Campbell was like, ooh, you gonna let him talk to you like that? Sup? So I'm on the bench hot. I'm ready to fight, everything. But that was like, he was cooking me too.
Yeah.
That was it. I mean, other than that, I say my first game, cross Wayne Turner, preseason, I go up to dunk. And never nervous, Purvis Ellison took a charge, and I cussed him out.
Never nervous.
It's like, you 7 foot, motherfucker. What you doing taking a charge?
When you first come into the league, who were some of the key well, you didn't play as much. So your second year, once you really start rocking, who were some of the key matchups you're looking forward to? Because you played in a crazy time where it was AI, a young D Wade, Steve Nash, Gilbert, you name it, people was out there.
All of them.
All
of them. Add Chris Paul in there.
Mm-hmm. Darren Williams.
Add Darren Williams. Add Jason Kidd.
Mm-hmm.
Add Nick Van Exel. Add Rod Strickland. Add Sam Cassell.
Mm-hmm.
These are all the people we lost to in the playoffs. Shit, who else? Damon Stoudemire. Dog, it was an era of every night. Mike Bibby. Like, you getting a different look from a different point guard every night. And then you got to go against the Greg Anthonys and the Charlie Wards, who are like, more defensive minded. The Eric Snows, defensive minded. Mark Jackson, I played against Mark Jackson. So all these like great point guards that you kind of watched growing up, you know what I mean? It was crazy. But Sam Cassell was cold-blooded, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Cassell was cold-blooded. Steve Nash was cold-blooded. It was a lot.
You made the playoffs your first 5 years. What is it like? Are you thinking like, oh shit, every year, okay, we made it. Would it just become normal for you?
Yeah, it was, man, it was like we had a chance. Like every year we showed up, we felt like we were just
Y'all had
as
some
good.
good teams over
We
there.
had some good teams. And we
over
felt
there.
like we could make it. Because if you get to the playoffs and you get the matchup you want, like we felt we can, and even if it was a tough matchup, in a lot of those series, we just lost in 7, and like them games could have went either way.
Yep.
And we had a real vet squad that like them fools just turned it up a notch and got like hella quick, more athletic in the playoffs. And I'm like, oh shit, let's go. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But it was just like, we felt we could win every year. We felt like we could upset and, and advance. But in that era, everybody was trying to get to playoffs because they felt like they were good enough. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Most memorable playoff series.
Most memorable playoff series.
Outside of We Believe.
Yeah,
of course.
For sure. I would say the Orlando series.
Y'all knocked off Mac, right?
When we knocked off T-Mac. That's the year that I got myself the max. You know what I mean? That was my third year.
You got yourself the max, and I think that's important.
Yeah, because you going into the series, Mashburn gets hurt. He had vertigo. So it's pretty much all on my, I was next in line. And so when we beat the Mavericks in that series, it was almost like, I think the last 2 games I had 2 triple doubles. You know what I mean? To like close them out in Orlando. And I just remember on the bus, everybody was like, my nigga, you about to get the max. You about to get the max. It was like, yo, you about to get the max. And it was like, why you need an? And then the conversation was like, why you need an agent? If you're gonna get a max, like, why would you give your agent the money? Like, they got to sign you because we was moving, because we basically got kicked out of Charlotte, and the move to New Orleans like forced their hand to basically take the best player with them. And so that shit was crazy, bro. It was like one of the craziest things.
So you fired your agent and negotiated your own deal?
Yeah, basically, I walked into my agent office with a suit, and I was just like, yo.
With a suit.
You know what I mean? I was like, yo, I want to do this by myself. I'm start my own agency, represent myself. And he was like, good luck. I think you're making a
big mistake.
big mistake. Yeah. And I was like, well, whatever, I'm gonna keep this 6% and learn from it. You know what I mean? And so that 6% for me was always like what I was gonna use to build my agency, to like invest in me, to like invest in a movie, whatever it is, you know what I mean, that I really wanted to do. That was what that 6%. And that 6% can also go to my family, you know what I mean? And like what I want to do for my family to help, invest in my family and shit.
Talk about the culture change going from Charlotte to New Orleans.
Charlotte to New Orleans, there was no stability. Like Charlotte was a North Carolina is basketball country.
Mm-hmm.
New Orleans is a party city and a tourist city, right? And so New Orleans was not built for a basketball team. New Orleans was built for football, right? It is Saints, Saints, Saints. So even with us coming, like there are no Fortune 500 companies. There are no Fortune 200 companies. So the sponsorships, the things like that, it was just hella janky. I think, and I still believe Entergy is the largest company down in that area. And other than that, you got like Smoothie King and like not Bojangles, but Popeyes. And he had a bunch of chains. So you got like local business people, you know what I mean, around the team, and there's no high
hierarchy.
There's no high net worth sponsors to actually carry the team. So, we practice in West Wego, like in a goddamn like rec center until they built, finally like a whole practice facility. But like we would share, our bathroom was a public bathroom. You know what I mean? And it was like shit, our showers was kind of like public showers. It'd be an NRA meeting and we got practice. You know what I'm saying? And so, they be having their little craft services. And I'm like, yo, I'm about to go over there and get me some of that shit. They like, man, they gonna shoot. Fuck them. So it was just all kind of shit happening. You know what I mean? And then in the arena, like we weren't really getting the draw, and like the amenities and shit like that. So it was just like they was like filling it in as we was going. But we had a good team though. We had a good team. And then like, they made the transition with Byron Scott. And then after that, like it wasn't no good for me at that point no more. But New Orleans was crazy because I had that's how I invested in vitamin water because they had like a fat head. Nigga, I had it on the whole side of the arena. You know what I mean? It's like the whole arena was BD. That was it. You pull in from the airport, that's BD. I go a billboard. Okay, that's another BD billboard. Okay, that's another BD in the team. Okay, that's 2 players. Okay, here go BD, point to BD. And they wrapped the arena, dog. No bullshit. They wrapped the arena with a big ass fat head. You know what I mean? And so, you couldn't tell me shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's I remember when vitamin water came, they was like, we don't have no money for marketing. I was like, bro, I ain't tripping. You see all these like shit, I got you. And that's how I like took a chance on them. But it was like New Orleans, like it was crazy because like all of a sudden, like I was thrown out there. Both of our owners was like fighting over who's owning the team. So after practice, they'd be like, yo, you gotta come to this cocktail reception. Gotta go with this dude. Then I gotta go over here with this dude. And it's like, what is he telling you? What is he telling you?
You were like the selling ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the second year in New Orleans, I remember that George Shen, I knew he had financial problems. So I was like, Mr. Shen, I just forfeit my last 2 years, my next 2 years. That's about, 25 million. And then I just invested in the team and be your partner. And he was like, motherfucker, he wanted to say, get your black ass out this room.
Right,
you know what I mean? But hey, dog, it was fair. Like it was fair. Like, yo, I give my contract back. I know you got some financial problems. Like you and homeboy over here, y'all ain't really seeing eye to eye. And I know you got this loan. You know what I mean? Man, let me put in on that, dog. I'm the highest paid dude here. They ain't like that. He did not like that. And so that's like when shit starts spiraling down, when they start asking me to do goofy shit, like tell everybody on the team to put their hand over their heart for the national anthem and shit like that. I was like, hey, bro.
No, sir.
I can't tell nobody to do nothing. You know what I mean? And they start making like little issues like that. And then like, and that's the same era and time when T.O. was doing all that. You know what I mean? And like just athletes was like acting out, it was like because one, you asking the wrong dude. You know what I mean? You want me to ask David West to put his hand, even though he's a rookie? You want me to tell, hey, David West, you got to put your hand over your heart, for the national anthem. Man, they was like, man, get the fuck out of here.
You also developed a relationship with Lil Wayne out there. Talk to us about that.
Tunchi.
Yeah, Wayne, that's my dog. You know what I mean? Like,
I know you was big into rap. I remember this one time, just quick story at UCLA, you was taking me to the train station or something. This motherfucker was driving fast as fuck, rapping and writing in his notebook at the same time. Like, yo, I'm about to die, bro.
Glad I wasn't in there.
I'm about to die.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Wayne. I think
Shout out
Wayne
Wayne.
kind of gave me the bug to start rapping. So we built a little booth. I forgot what that shit was called. The Cave. Tyron, what was that called? The Cage? Yeah, we had the Cage. We built a little cage out, but Wayne, he used to kick it with us all the time. Me and Term. He really used to kick it with Term because I'd be at practice, but Term, Capo, Wayne, Molly, all them, you know what I mean? Because when I got there, it was like, you get introduced to like the OGs and I got introduced to Baby, Slim, No Limit dudes, you know what I mean? So I met all the, make sure I meet Soldier Slim, rest in peace, dog. That was my dog. That was the first real dude that I locked in with. But you meet all the OGs, all the street dudes, make sure. But Wayne and Term and Capo, they was all just like
tight.
Yeah, they was tight. And so we sitting around the house, and dudes coming in from LA, we sharing like stories and shit like that and war stories and Term telling his stories in the death row days. You know what I mean? And Wayne was like, he was eating all that shit up. You know what I mean? He was
Soaking
eating
it
that
all
shit
in,
up. He was
yeah.
soaking that shit up. You know what I mean? And plus, like where he was from, he was already like moving. You know what I mean? He was already moving. So like they was just like their own little like they was their own crew. You know what I mean? I just tap in with them every now and again, and then I just happened to be one of Wayne's favorite players at the time. And so like it was just like it was love, you know what I mean? Like Wayne, like to this day, that's like my brother, you know what I mean? Whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whatever, that's like my dog.
So your
And then I was trying to get Game. I remember I was trying to get Game. What was it, Five? Was we trying to do Black Wall Street South and get Game and Wayne to partner up? Because Wayne was trying to get out that first contract with Baby. And he was talking to Jay-Z and we was all at the mall. I was like, man, I'll give you some bread, dog. Start your own shit. You know what I mean? But we was all just talking about it and shit. I'd never forget that. And I was like, man, what if we did Black Wall Street South? Or I forget what it was. But we was all like.
It's a dope idea.
With business was on the mind. That's good. So your transition from New Orleans to Golden State, how'd that happen?
Basically, I had like burned all my resources in New Orleans. They had to kick me out. Shit.
It was time to go?
Yeah, because I told Alan Bristow, I said like he thought he was gonna rush me. And I said, hey, bro, you take 2 more steps, I'm gonna whoop your ass in front of everybody in this gym. And after that, they had to trade me. And he was running down. I was like, take 2 more steps, I'm fucking you up. And he stuck.
Red light, green light.
Hey, bro, he was stuck on that step. And Byron Scott was like, yo, what's going on? I was like, man, I'm out of here, man. Get me up out of here. I ain't got no time. Alan Bristow told me that I thought I was God's gift to basketball. And I was like, man, I can't deal with you, bro. You know what I mean? You already feel like a racist dude to me anyway. So, man, you need to shut the fuck up and trade me. You know what I mean? Because I'll whoop your ass after practice over. You know what I mean? On some normal shit. You know what I mean?
Nice and calm.
That's exactly what I told him, man. It's like, you know how they do you, bro. You know how they try to do you. And if it wasn't for Crossroads, I wouldn't have had that part, like to be able to articulate myself, right? In a room, and it just pissed him off because it's like, you ain't gonna shake me down. You know what I mean? Like, it's your money. You know what I'm saying? You gave it to me. So, 2, I don't even need all this shit. You know what I'm saying? So, they would get frustrated, right? Even like George Shin, like Mr. Shin, he was pissed that I offered to buy into the team.
That's the best way I describe you to a lot of people. I say, you just grew up in Compton, went to Crossroads, and ended
South
up
Central,
South Central, excuse me. Ended up in Crossroads, go to UCLA. You mix all that up.
All
You got
in
Barry
one.
Man,
Davis.
goddamn.
You got Barry Davis.
I'm starting to understand it too. I'm starting to accept it.
I'm starting to
Accept that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Straight up.
Like
So to move to the Bay, what was that like?
one, I did not want to go to Golden State because at one point it was like LA dudes and Bay dudes, like, you know, the stereotype is like we didn't fuck with each other.
Yeah.
It was always like a rivalry from Cal and all that, but I'd always had good games at Golden State. And so when I got to Golden State, it was like dead, bro. I'm talking about dead. They said, what you think? I said, man, this shit feel like a fucking mortuary here every day coming to practice. You know what I mean? He know.
That was pretty
Before
bad.
you got there, when
Yeah.
you got there, it was like,
He had already fixed a lot of it.
hey, dog, when I walked in that motherfucking dog, they was not trying to play no goddamn, man, they was trying to make every excuse in the world not to get on the court and hoop. And then when we got on the court, them fools had so much shit going on that it was just like Dunleavy, I remember he had a thing with the crowd. And I was like, man, leave the fucking crowd. Like, you know, people used to fuck with him
They
and like,
used to boo the
oh
fuck
God,
out
they
of
used to
him. They hated
boo him.
him.
They like, you know, but it was like a love-hate relationship with Dunleavy because he was drafted so high.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Richardson, he was dealing with injury. And we all know Jay Rich. Jay Rich, if he can walk, if he can jog, he gonna play.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got there, I was like, Jay Rich, you need to sit down, my nigga.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm rocking, if me and you gonna rock, you gotta sit down, bro.
Yep.
You can't be coming out here. Like, I just dealt with that shit and I'm coming off an injury, you know, playing. And so I start coming off the bench and, you know, you got Derek Fisher there, you know, and he, you know how Derek Fisher, he a company guy. So he want to be the president. So he want everything to be equal terms. You know what I mean? But he is solid, like he a solid teammate. He is a hell of a teammate.
He is not.
Huh?
Don't do that. How dare you?
He was solid.
No,
How
as
dare you? How dare you?
as a basketball
Oh,
player.
okay. About to say, please,
Not
let's
as
not
a,
do
not
that.
as a dude, not as a
My
dude.
bad.
Like
My
you
bad.
said,
My bad.
He
My
was
bad.
solid
about, like,
teammate.
But I'm just saying, I ain't never played with him. So when y'all said that, I just went left.
No, I'm left
in
with
the car.
you.
I'm in the car with Matt on the
Yeah,
highway
all
going.
day.
You know what I'm saying?
He said, I'm left with you.
I'm
I
left
just jumped
with
in the passenger seat with you on the highway just now. My bad. I gotta get out the car. I gotta
No,
get out
what
the
I'm
car.
saying, like he was hella professional.
Yeah.
Like he showed up to work every day. He was hella diplomatic.
Right.
You know what I mean? But Mike Montgomery and like whatever, and Troy Murphy was just like, God damn, bro. He was just like fucking like depressed the whole time. So I'm like, yo, this shit is like a corpse. So it's like I had to get in there and one sort of start to get healthy. We went 8 in a row to end the year. You know what I mean? And so now everybody like feeling juice, feeling great.
False hope.
Yeah. And now we bring Mike Montgomery back for the second year. And then that's when you start seeing like, you know, the bitch in everybody again. You know what I mean? And it was a lot of that shit where it was team meetings and they was like, yo, BD, you know, you don't practice. And I was like, what do you mean I don't practice, bro? We got 2 rookies. What am I practicing the whole practice for?
Right.
They need to work, right? And it's me and D Fish. I take a day off. He take it like D Fish, you need a day off. Let these dudes get the work in and let us work against
he ain't
him.
need no day off though.
No, but he wouldn't. So everybody was playing politics, and then we had a team meeting, and everybody was like pointing fingers, you know, but nobody want to point no fingers. So I was like, man, who got something to say?
Right.
And I was like, man, y'all some suckers. And that's when they got Montgomery out. But Mully come to me, he was like, don't trip, bro. We gonna figure it out. And then that's when me and Matt linked. And then that's how we come into the next year with Nelly.
Yeah,
So
that was a crazy story. So I'm in between. I was on the way out, really coming off 2.5 years in Philly, not playing. And I'm at home in Sacramento. And BD hits me up the morning of, like, oh, bro, we hooping down here, come up. I'm like, hurry up, shower, hop in the car, drive an hour and a half and go down there and play, not knowing that, you know, Nelly was watching the whole time. They had already had something crazy, like 18 people coming to training camp and 16 guarantees. He's like, I can't promise you nothing, but if you go out here and play like you did today, I'll give you a chance. And that's all I needed. So that's kind of the start of that.
That's simple.
That's kind of the start of that beginning of that season. So I worked my way from like the last dude on the bench and started playing well enough to trade Dunleavy and Murphy.
So
and
if you wouldn't have started playing well, they would have never did that trade.
I told Matt, I say, Matt, hey, bro, these niggas, that ain't good, bro. You know what I mean? Like, if you come in, just rock with me, dog. Like, I'm telling you, like, I know what you can do. Because I needed somebody else that could, like, facilitate to think with. You know what I mean? And, like, when we was in college, we, like, if he want to press, I'm already there. So we was already in sync. And I was like, man, I'm telling you, dog, this shit gonna work. And this fool started balling, dog. I swear to God, he was winning games for us. And it was like, it wasn't expected because of like how he came in. And then all of a sudden, it's like he's starting. Now he the bona fide six, man. It was just like Nelly could almost do, because of how Matt started, he felt like he could do whatever he wanted with Matt. But Matt was successful in any fucking thing. Even if he didn't play, he was still integral. So, you know how he is on
Great
the bench,
teammate,
you know what I
yeah,
mean? Just like, and then that led to like, all right, we got to play him. Then remember the Philly game? I was like, hey, bro, that fool, how many threes you hit? Like, we played Philly. Yeah, that was it.
We just talked about it with Webb. That was funny. We just talked about it with
because
Webb.
I was like, man, it was one of the coaches. He was like, man, I can't stand that
Again,
motherfucker.
fuck Mo Cheeks.
See? And I was like, man, damn.
time.
You know, I'm like, Mo Cheeks, he a legend. Like, point guard. Like, well, fuck him, dog. Let's go. Fuck Mo Cheeks. Let's go. You know, no offense to Mo Cheeks. I love Mo Cheeks, but, you know, that mentality, my dog was like,
I got more points in my career than Mo Cheeks, so fuck.
No, but my dog was riding. And when he was riding, I was like, man, I was feeding that fool the ball. He had like 6 threes. He was doing some crazy shit. And I was like, that's what I'm talking about. And then after that, Mully was like, yo, we gonna make a move. You know what I mean? Because we got to get some more energy. He was like, what you think about Stak, Jack, and that? I was like, hell yeah, please.
Because you was hurt.
This motherfucker laying on the hospital bed and shit.
You was hurt at the time, though, right? Were you hurt?
Nah, man, I got hurt when they came.
Oh, right when they
They didn't know. They didn't know we knew each other.
Yeah, because we were on the phone the whole time.
Explain, break that down, because I obviously I wasn't privy to the information at the time.
Well, first of all, we was already talking. Go ahead.
Blessings now, brother. But Steven the
Stak Jack.
Stak Jack.
Yeah, Stak Jack was out of control at the time.
What's up, thuggin'? That's what Zebo always say.
Yeah, I was.
So what was you just coming off of at that time?
I was coming off a shootout at strip club. I was coming out a shootout at strip club, getting all my teeth knocked out, getting hit by a car, having plastic surgery for 2 hours with no anesthesia.
Man, nigga showed me the pictures, dog. I called him immediately.
But look, this is one of the craziest phone calls. My nigga Turn, my boy BD, they called me. I'm talking about after everything that go on, man. My mouth swole, I can't really talk. You know, I've been fighting everything. As soon as I lay in the bed, you know, and try to relax and you know, my phone ring. Brrr. Hello, it's Turn BD. You good, fool? We on the way. You good? You good? We on the way. I can't even talk. I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. All right, we just want to turn with the background. Blah, we on the way. I said, nah, I'm good. But they called to check on me. But I was wanting to say that when I got traded, they didn't know that me and BD was already cool. Mm-hmm. They was just trading to make y'all team better. They didn't know our relationship.
Yeah, because I had to call. Remember, I talked to Moms.
Yep.
I was like, all right, Stak.
The night of.
I was like, all right, Stak, my nigga. We know you the realest. We know you the realest, dog.
We know.
All right, you know what I mean? You trump everybody, dog.
You win.
You know what I mean? You win, bro. It ain't gonna be another come through like you, bro. It's time to stop.
Yeah, let it
Moms, I got him. And it's crazy because he's still in Indiana. I'm like, yo, bro, you all right, enough, bro.
Yeah.
You trying to are you trying to die? You know what I mean? like, yo, you do have a lot of money and like shit. Like, come on, man. Like, shit, live with me.
My nigga, you have nothing to prove.
You have nothing to prove, bro. I was like, Mom, I got him. I'm gonna be responsible for him. You know, like I'm gonna make sure. He was like, man, I got you, I got you. And then we wound up trading.
Yep. Yeah.
And that was like our whole little shit in the background. Like
Al didn't like the trade at first. Al was mad because remember he had just got back
that new,
and just built a house. Right? Yeah, he had just got back to Indiana.
Yeah, he was mad. That's why he was mad.
Al was mad. He was like, man, fuck, man. I just got here, bro. Now Jack got my ass traded again.
But walk us through that timeline once they arrived, because we didn't jail right away. It took
Not
us
at
a minute
all.
to jail.
I missed the first 7 games when we got there.
Suspended.
Yes, yeah, I didn't miss. I was suspended 7 games. Yeah.
And then I got hurt.
Did you see this motherfucker? I said, miss, he gonna reiterate.
Suspended.
Yeah,
That's
it was
right.
different.
It's
It was different, yeah, because you didn't really miss no games for being hurt. You missed games for being suspended.
Yeah, for real, dog.
For real.
All the games you missed was suspended.
Yeah.
You ain't never missed
That's
no
what I
games
was
for her.
saying.
You
You
missed
didn't-
My
another
whole career,
You
dog.
missed a 7 the year we went like 49 and whatever it was, 42 and 42. And it was them 7 games you got suspended. That shit, you know
Add
what I
it
mean?
up.
When you think about it,
Yeah,
like
add it up.
we needed you, bro. You was everything. You know what I mean? You was everything. When y'all came, it was just
A new energy, man.
y'all had it, like the energy was there, but I had just like kind of like, all right, man, I like at least we good enough. You know what I mean? And y'all motherfuckers came like riling motherfuckers up, like Peaches, and like I'm like, oh my god,
He had Peaches gang banging.
Hey, bro.
Within like a week.
Yeah, a week in the week.
I'm like, Lord have mercy. I done
From
finally
France.
got these dudes settled in to like playing a role. Now Peaches coming to practice. So woo. I'm like, oh,
fresh.
I'm fresh. I'm fresh. What's up, Suwoo? Stack 5. BG9. Suwoo. Fresh.
That shit is.
Shout out Michael Peaches, man. That's my boy, man. That's my boy.
But it was really like
Air
that kind of
France. Air
energy.
France.
That was the kind of energy that y'all brought to the team. And like I said, once we kind of figured it out a little bit, what was it, Detroit? Where we kind of got it.
It was Detroit. That was that game,
road
dog. We
trip.
turned. Yep.
Because we were scared. We were scared.
They was good. They was winning championships.
Yeah.
But he came in the locker room after that game.
That was a Washington game.
No. After the Detroit game, you came in the locker room because we won that game. You was like, bro, we can really turn this shit around.
hell
Yes,
yeah,
you came in the locker room like,
And
bro,
then we talked about the whole plane ride home.
we can really
Yep.
turn this shit around.
We stayed up and we was talking about like, yo, damn, like if these dudes couldn't fuck with us, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like it ain't no way. Like, I mean, we was just like figuring out, all
What
right,
we
Zach,
have.
nigga, if I'm off, then you, And like, we know Jay Ritz good for 40. We know Al any night good for 40. Monte, okay, you young.
It's the
but
brains of the defense.
Yep.
He's doing all the talking, getting everybody in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
And then Beatrice started
Playing his
coming
role,
along. Yeah.
Doing exactly what we needed him to do.
Yep.
Couldn't shoot free throws for
Yeah,
shit.
hey, we got Goose paid though.
Yeah.
Fifty-
Me and you really got
I
Goose
told that
paid.
fool. I told that fool he should have bought me a house in this
Yeah, we
country.
got
That's all
Goose
I asked
paid.
him for.
I
said, bro, if I get you paid, just buy me some property in your country, dog. Because
Where,
like,
Lithuania?
I'm gonna want a vacation house. I ain't give a fuck where
let
he
me tell you
was.
one thing about Goose. He wasn't just the best player, but he catches everything.
He got the best hands in the
I don't
world,
care where you
bro.
throw the pass to him, he catching that
Dunk
shit,
that
bro.
Best hands. He was so basketball intelligent,
Mhm.
and he just knew where to be. I remember with Goose, man. Like I ain't gonna tell you why he got the name Goose.
I was just thinking that. But you can tell he ain't staying in the league long. That's shit, the Goose.
But he was young, bro. He came to the team. He
Yeah,
was like
19,
18.
yeah.
Yeah, just turned 19. And they had him out partying.
The whole time.
Euros and shit. Europeans partying, man. I
Mhm.
caught him in the club. 'Cause, you know,
Sap dog.
yeah, but his homeboy, yeah, that was
Sap dog.
Bellinelli. That was Bellinelli,
Oh,
dog.
that's down
Yeah.
there. Okay.
But I
Sap
called
dog.
Goose in the club, and he was like, BD. And I jammed him up real quick because I knew I could. And I was like, hey, bro, I don't want to see this shit. You should be starting next year. You should be da-da-da-da-da. I was like, you can have your fun right now, but when you come back next year, I'm not having none of this shit.
Mhm.
You got a chance to like, fuck these dudes. These dudes are terrible. You know what I mean? Like, they not gonna be here. You can be here, bro. Don't get caught up in that shit. You feel what I'm saying? Fuck with
Mhm.
me. And I remember I had just like jammed him up because I felt like that kid could be special. You know what I mean? And when you watch like what he was for us, he was like we could put him on Tim Duncan
Yep.
and not double.
Yep. Some
Tim
night.
Duncan was gonna kill him.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But
It saved
he
his
was
life.
going the couple things
We
that
didn't
he
have to
would
go into
do.
rotation.
Yeah.
Right, you don't have to be in rotation. So
Yep.
now Monte on Parker,
Mhm.
either I got Ginobili, you
Mhm.
got Ginobili, and now
Mhm.
we wearing dude. You know what I mean? And he playing quarterback, and so Dial didn't have no advantage. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it was like Goose was like that type of dude that was just,
Al complimented him well though.
and Al was the perfect compliment to him.
Yeah. Al was the perfect
The only
compliment.
problem
to him.
with Al was Al and Nelly riff about Al playing the 5.
Al didn't feel like he was the
He
center.
hated the
And,
five.
Hated that shit.
and Al didn't want to be Al didn't want to be the 5.
Right.
And it wasn't so much of him, like, but like, dog, remember that Yao Ming game? Like, that motherfucker was like, it was just taking so much away from his offense.
He didn't play for about 2 weeks after that game, though. Remember that? We played Yao Ming in Houston. He sat out for about 2 weeks after that game, too.
No, he played he fronted the shit out of Yao Ming. He had a hell of a game. And we needed Al to like be more like the Jay Rich. You know what I mean? But like I understood where he was like playing the 5 because he just had to do he couldn't consistently.
That's when you had to do 5
But that was his minutes,
You had to be real 5, though. You had to be
you played the 4, I played the 4,
Yeah,
so his
we
minutes was,
taking
you
his
know
minutes,
what I'm saying?
Nelly was going with the small shit. So we hit our run. What did we run? 20. We won 18 out of the last 23 games or something like that.
Because I got kicked out the last game of the season, and Nelly's like, bro, you can get kicked out, but don't get suspended.
Kicked out in
Remember?
Portland?
Because we won the last game in Portland.
Yeah.
To make the playoffs.
And
You won
didn't
that
play.
game.
Huh?
You didn't play, right?
I got kicked out. Remember, they clipped me, and Nelly came to like, look, don't
get suspended.
Yeah, you get kicked out, but don't get suspended. So I got kicked out, and I left it alone. He came, grabbed me, and I left it alone. This is the cleanest kick I've ever had. I made sure I got kicked out, but I left it alone. You've never seen me do that. Because Nelly told me,
And
you
we
can get kicked
finished the
out,
Portland
just don't
game
get
without
suspended.
Yeah.
Huh? You finished the last game.
And then remember, Clippers had lost to somebody.
Yeah, I was
The same night.
So, I've been like researching all that shit. I've been watching all the clips and I've been pulling clips from the announcements and the announcers of like all the shit that they were saying, like the dudes who was announcing the Clipper game, what they were saying about us, what our announcers, Bob Fitzgerald and Jim Barnett, what they were saying. So it was almost like, it was like this fucking, this this hourglass of time ticking away. And I remember Dallas beat the Clippers.
But remember, they sat out against us.
And then they sat out against us.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like they had another game in between where they all played again.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
We smelled the blood in the water.
Yeah.
And so we kind of took that shit as disrespect, dog.
Yeah.
I remember I was we were hot that they didn't want to like, yo, give us the fair fight. Remember? We was like, yo, we can't get the fair fight. Y'all don't want to put us out now, put us out our misery.
But Nelly knew what it was off the rip.
Nelly knew they were scared.
He knew what it was.
Once we got in the playoffs, I'd never seen Nelly move that fast in my life.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, look,
Yeah.
we gonna do it.
Hey, that was his championship. He just wanted to beat the shit out of them, bro.
And Bear said it one time, too, because we were talking about what happened in the second round. It's like, Nelly checked out.
Second round? Bro, you know he checked out when we got our drug test. He the first one in the tunnel, giving us high fives when we got our drug test in Utah. I know he checked out.
Nah, because he kept playing Mehmet on court, and we didn't understand that, dog. We was like, yo. And then Stak, and then all of a sudden, Stak and Nelly started getting into it, because Stak like, man, I ain't no goddamn five
But look,
either.
it was no way that I could help my team offensively and guard him and Boozer. It was no way,
We
dog.
had the best matchup with Al versus Boozer.
Yeah.
And we didn't take advantage of that.
Yeah.
And nobody knew that Al had you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we supposed to be like, the coach is supposed to be like, yo, Al, Boozer does not want to fuck with Al.
I had a career destroying him.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
we didn't know that at the time.
But Al, everybody at that point was just goddamn just like, man, I can't play the 5. Why I'm playing the 4?
But we still had him the first 2 games.
We still had him.
We still had him.
Free throws.
Free throws.
Free throws.
Remember the
they
fans?
called a bullshit ass 8-second violation.
Yeah.
Yep. That was really the one. The free throws too, but the 8 seconds, that was some bullshit.
That was some bullshit.
Fans was calling us niggas. They had pictures of Jack up in the in his jail police outfit.
In the life jail suit, the movie Life jail suit, cardboard cutout.
Hey, dog, they was hardcore on us, bro.
I fucked with it, though.
Hey,
I fucked with it. I didn't like what they were saying sometimes.
We smoked their hotel out, though.
Davis.
Yeah,
She was going,
everybody,
"Fuck
remember?
you." Yeah, remember that little white girl? I was like, yo, look at this little white girl. She was like, fuck you, Baron Davis, fuck you. Like, God damn, I'm about to shoot a free throw.
That's why we smoked
They was
their
mad because
hotel
we
out.
smoked the whole hotel. I had the whole city high.
We smoked their whole hotel
I
out.
remember when we got to Utah. I mean, we can talk about the basketball shit, but I think the off-the-court shit is fun, too.
way more cooler.
We got to Utah. Remember, Nelly put all of us right next to each other on the same floor.
At the end of the hall.
With the gym fan at the end of the hall, because he already knew what it was. But like, what kind of coach does that, though?
Because he had checked out, bro. He had checked out.
It was going down.
Heavily down. Heavily
Hey, it was
down.
going down. Hey, shit. When was that when we couldn't smoke weed? And everybody was like, we had like a little, was that Miami where we had like a mini like NBA
Vacation?
break? Yeah.
The other night we came to practice the next day in the same clothes.
We land at 12. We got practice at 9. We get back to the hotel by 7:45, 8. Everybody get on the bus with all their clothes on. We get to shoot around. Nelly come out on the court. Nobody warming up. Everybody on the sideline. He said, man, bring it in. Get back on the bus. And we better win by 30. And we sure as hell won by 30. Went out Miami and beat the niggas by 30.
We was chilling like this, smoking DeJarms.
Show us.
Hey, motherfuckers just fiending for a smoke. God damn, dog. I was like, yo, man, we out here smoking DeJarms and cigars. I was like, shit. It felt like we was on summer vacation.
Yeah,
we was
Miami.
in Miami for 2 days. He was walking on the beach smoking cigars. Like, man, go get another pack of cigarettes. I'm like, man, fucking smoking them goddamn cigarettes. Black and Miles, Black DeJarms. What was the other one? What was the other ones in the little tin can? Remember we had them? The little
what are those
cigarillos or whatever?
Them shits was nasty. That was one thing about that team. That team, like we all rocked together. Off the court, we was all rocking together. Everybody.
I forgot about them DeJarms, dog. I forgot about this.
What about the story when Barron came in his cowboy outfit?
You remember that? Jack, I'm just gonna let you know. I'm showing up. I'm dressing up tonight. Just be prepared. So I'm like, all right, cool, dude. I ain't tripping. But I know how he do. So I didn't. Once he gave me the word, I spreaded the word to everybody on the team. Prepare. Everybody on the team. Get here early. Barron putting on the show. He comes in the locker room. Cowboy hat. Cowboy shirt, brooch.
Oh, yeah.
Spurs, boots, the whole 9, and just stand in the middle of the locker room and look around at everybody. But what was behind that, though? What was the reason? You didn't tell me the reason.
Stepping the fashion game up, Jack. You know what I mean? Niggas wasn't venturing out. You know what I mean?
You getting outside your box?
Yeah, I think we was in Texas. Was we in Texas?
Nah, it was a home game. It was a home game.
We might have just came back from Texas.
That's why I asked why you did.
Probably I got some shit from San Antonio. Want the floss. Couldn't wait to break that outfit out.
Oh,
remember I got in trouble for wearing the bullet fedora in the playoffs. They was talking about suspending me.
I remember that.
At the M16.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
they was trying to suspend us damn near every game. Y'all had each other down.
Yeah,
remember they tried to get us for the handshake?
The pat down was the coldest fucking
that shit was
intro
dope, right?
ever, dog. This nigga Jack run out. Matt pat him down. All right, you clear. And then he like, you clear the play. Everybody over there waiting for him to get out of jail.
Yeah, that was gangster. That was hard.
Well, we didn't think it because you got to think like we're making this run, so we just trying to have fun. But we didn't think it was that big of a deal until David Stern saw that shit and they told us to stop like 3 or 4 times.
We're on TV.
Yeah,
we're on TV and they know
this nigga is him. He the one didn't stop. Because it got to the point where I wasn't even putting my hands up. I'm just running the chest bump, man. He just still petting me. That was his ass, bro. He would not stop. Try to see what we can get away with.
What about Barron when you lived in Frisco playing your guitar with your shirt off, playing your guitar for the
Killer, bro.
for the people coming out the bar?
Put the D'Angelo on. You know what I mean? Go get the acoustic guitar.
Take your shirt off.
Take my shirt off, sit on the ledge and be like, they thought it was me.
Is that Barron Davis?
Is that Barron Davis? Damn, I didn't know he can play. I'm in there. I'm in there fucking it up. Oiled up. You know what I mean?
Baby oil. That's why I remember we had baby oil.
Hold up, Matt.
There wasn't really no work in San
Matt is
Francisco,
probably the best ones to explain this. Can you please explain BD pregame routine?
Which one?
The shots he take.
Well, I don't remember. What you mean?
Oh, when you, because, hey.
So look.
Hey, he be like, oh, BD, there you go. There you go.
His warm-up.
Remember my shoot-around routine?
It's no shot that you would shoot in the regular game. But he practiced all the weirdest shots. So we messing with him the whole year. And next thing you know, he shoot one of them shots in the game. See? I told you, Jack. I told you, Jack, but you did it on accident, though.
Yeah, they used to be like, there you go. There you go. And I'd just be over there like,
jumping sideways, shooting the layup with the offhand. But we got footage of it. We got footage of you warming up. Yeah.
That shit was legendary. So we gonna do this We Believe, Doc?
Absolutely, bro.
Got to. They need to hear it. We
They
couldn't give
ready
y'all
to
too
hear
much
it.
today, but it's fun. There's so much more. We just all sat down and brainstormed.
Yep.
We got to do it. It's
No,
coming.
for sure. I feel like, I mean, it definitely needs to be told. I feel like it's like that, the Bay Area, what the Bay Area was, what it was becoming.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like
We're a
that
big part of that.
whole,
Almost to
you know
what it
I
is
mean?
now because it's way different.
But it's more commercial. You know, it's like not commercial, but it's open. Like the Bay is so authentic that it's like that shit pop. You know what I'm saying? And like when we was on TV and like fucking We Believe fans in China, you know what I mean? Like Oakland was a destination. The Bay Area became like a destination. Remember other dudes was in our locker room? Motherfuckers was like, yo, I want to go play for the Warriors.
Yep.
And so like I feel like it's like our story, the Bay story, the music. You know what I mean? Like I was talking to Mr. Fab. He was there every game.
Yeah, him
Yep,
and
right
moms.
behind the
Rest in
scores,
peace to
yeah.
his moms.
Yeah, rest in peace. He was there every game, and he was over there haggling everybody else. You feel what I'm saying?
He used to sit
And
right
so,
off to the left of the center court, almost close to their bench. So he was talking shit to everybody.
He was a part of that run. You
We
know
was
what
in
I
the
mean?
streets too, heavy.
Yeah.
In the hood, on both sides of the bridge.
Yeah, it was
balling.
Hooping though.
And I feel like we kind of brought the Bay Area together. Bro.
Oh man,
because what I realized was Oakland and San Francisco
fucking with
dudes
each other.
weren't really fucking with each other.
Shout out Steezy.
But shout out Steezy. You know what I mean? Shout out the homies from Fillmore, the homies from Oakland, from East Oakland, West Oakland. All them dudes. It's kind of like they fucked with us.
They gave us a lot of love.
You know what I mean? They really was like, yo, we rock with y'all. They took care of us. You know what I mean? They let us be, you know, they like
the ye.
Yeah, the ye. You know what I mean? They let us be who we were. They gave us freedom. You know what I mean? Back to the Asian shit, bro. They fuck with us.
Oh, super.
Heavy.
Super.
Man,
super,
games,
super.
clubs,
All that.
restaurants, friends, dinners, all that shit.
All
you
that.
know what I mean? It's like I got my niece is married to an Asian. You know what I mean?
Wasn't it one of our Asian fans that started the We Believe?
The We
sign?
Believe, the whole We Believe.
Yeah.
Man, come on, man. It was just like a thing. Wasn't nobody tripping, yo. You know what I mean? And like we was all fucking with each other. So that's why I feel like all the shit that you doing, all the shit you doing, speaking on culture, speaking to, you know, equality and inclusion and shit like that.
That's what we stand
you know,
for.
It's like, that's what this We Believe doc is. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, we went and we hooped and we did win a championship, but we did some other shit.
Yep, just as big.
And we still doing shit. You know what I mean? And it's like all still a part of this, you know, greater aligned focus. You feel what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I agree.
So We Believe season, we lose in the second round. Next year we come back and win more games, but miss the playoffs, and then your contract is up.
And they don't want to break you off.
I didn't get it.
You wanted to stay.
Remember that? I didn't get it. Remember that? And 50 Cent had that song out, and Baron Davis came in the locker room. Say, Jack, I didn't get it. I didn't get my.
They went and from what I understand, the numbers weren't too far off. They just didn't want to give it to you.
Fucking dumbass fucking Bobby Ryle. Just the
Riles.
dumbest motherfucker in the world, because it was just like, yo, bro, we got a killer team.
Yep, we winning.
I told you before I got here, give me 3 years and I'm going to turn this shit around, but it's dead. You asked me, I told you, I said 3-4 years, we going to be straight. People going to want to come here, we going to have life. I did it in 3. You know what I mean? We coming off the playoffs. We got promise. Man, pay me my money, bro. Matter of fact, how can we work this shit out? Because I know Monte got to come. We got to keep Jack. Al, a free agent. You know what I mean? We got to pay Matt. You know, I was all telling you, like, Matt, I was trying to get Matt more money for the Warriors. You know what I mean? And I was just like, yo, this is how this shit needs to go. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, motherfuckers was posturing, talking about, oh, you been hurt. We need you to play, you know, a full season and all that. And I was like, and what the fuck is that gonna do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's when I came out and I was like, damn, this is a cold game. And you gotta remember, I'm still like my own agent.
Right.
And you
So,
played 82 the next year, right?
I played 82 games.
08, 09 season, you played every single game.
I played.
On
I
purpose.
always say I played 81 and a half. Remember they suspended me for one game. I don't know why. For the half, remember you didn't play me the whole half in Phoenix?
Oh, that's right.
For what
Yeah.
though? What was that about? I don't remember that.
Because they can do that. Because they knew, so they can basically, I don't know, bro. I just feel like it was some back end, some back channeling shit. And if you see all that shit just kind of fell apart. You know what I mean?
Because we saw that, so we had Gilbert yesterday, and we talked to the other side, because he said that's what kind of got him going, was they knew that you were leaving Golden State, and then Golden State was offering him the max, what did he say, a $5 million house and a helicopter?
Yeah,
Hey,
helicopter.
dog, they offered Gilbert Arenas $106 million. And they offered me 30 non-guaranteed. Why wouldn't I leave?
Right.
Fuck you.
It fucked us up though. Like we was fucked up.
And it was crazy, and then they paid Corey Maggette 50, Ronnie Turioff 18, and whoever else, it was 2 more people. So like, you basically gave the money away. But shout out to my homies, because Turioff always like, yo, dog, if it wasn't for you, I would have never got paid.
I went and got some of that when they traded
Everybody,
you and everybody
yeah.
started going. I said, fuck that. Let me get some of that.
You negotiated your deal with Nelly, right?
No, with Bobby.
Bobby?
Yep. But went there and told him, look, I'm walking too about him getting this, and still walk.
And it's like, you know, it goes to show you that, one, you're undervalued, you're always underappreciated, right? And you work for them.
And it wasn't about winning, Uncle. We
And
was
it wasn't,
winning.
dog, it was, I'm gonna tell you how all this shit happened. Remember the playoff checks?
Mm-hmm.
Remember people in the Warriors executive office was mad because they weren't getting a
big share
of our playoff check.
Right.
That's right.
Yep.
And everybody was
We
mad.
voted to get,
And it started creating all these rifts because they got mad because we wanted to give our money to E.
Yep.
Tom, Big John, Jibo, all the people who was with us.
Who was the assistant trainer to Tom at the time that we had?
The little
Frank.
Frank was super
Everybody,
cool.
we was like, yo, we want to take care of everybody. And then the higher uppers was like, yo, we don't get no playoff checks. Like, it was like, and remember Jay Rich was like, man, I don't even want my check. I'm giving my shit to E.
Yeah, hell yeah. Everybody,
and that just started the chain. And then motherfuckers was looking like, oh, that's fucked up. And then that just started a riff, and it showed like the greed. I remember sitting back and I was like, man, these some greedy motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Dog.
Nobody worked harder than E in that organization.
But they, you know, and it all came back to me like, yo, why did everybody, you know, it's like, hold on, bro. Jay Rich did that. That's what he wanted to. I had to explain to everybody. Mm-hmm. And at that point, it was just like, man, these people are not.
They don't get it.
They don't get it. Mm-hmm. And then the owner, he had come out with some tax problems and like owing $350 million. So it was like, that's why the Warriors changed hands. I wish I could have got some skin into that though.
Yeah.
God, damn.
So you're off to the Clippers, going home, but still at the same time, some challenges. You and Donald Sterling bump heads heavily. Talk to us about your experience with them, because you thought he was going to come with Elton Brand. Elton Brand ends up leaving in free agency.
Yeah, Elton Brand a sucker too. Fuck him. But I'm cool with him now. But
he's a good dude. Yeah, but at the time,
yeah. I mean, he always been a good dude. It's just his agent. I can't fault the dude for taking more money, but you lied to me. You was like, yo, we doing this. We figured out how to make the money work. Nigga, I took less to make your money work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you let David Folk kind of come in and like, you know, come here, boy. Don't do it. You know what I mean? He kind of come here, boyed you. You know what I mean? I don't
come here, boyed you.
Yeah. Hey, man, what the nigga gonna do? Tweet about it, send an email. Nigga, you know, facts is facts.
Yeah.
And so when I did that, I was already like, God damn. So once the Elton Brands, because I call Elton Brand, nigga, this is all the way up to the deadline, man. This nigga talking every day, bro. And he was like, all right, man, as soon as you sign, I'm gonna sign. I was like, all right, dog, I'm about to commit. Boom, I commit. I call that nigga. He was like, oh, bro, I'm about to go out of town. So I couldn't even catch him. So I'm like, now I'm committed. And then that's when the Warriors did the like Gilbert shit and like, you know what I'm saying? And then I went and sat with Nelly, and Nelly was like, yo, you ain't gonna want to fucking play for that dude. He was like, just come on back. You know what I mean? We'll see if we can get you the money. You know what I mean? I was like, look, coach, I'm kind of like, At this point, I'm done. Like, I'd rather go to LA, whatever I get. I just want to build my shit up at home. You know what I mean? If I can do this for the Clippers that I did here, like, man, I'll be a living legend. You know what I mean? He was like, all right, I'm telling you, you ain't gonna want to play for that dude. And he wasn't lying.
So you had a chance to get it right and did make it right? And
Nah, they weren't gonna get it right. When I went back,
oh, because I was about to say.
No, when I went back, it was still non-guaranteed. They was basically saying we're not gonna guarantee money because you're injury prone.
Okay, because I thought you said that you had a chance to go back and get the money
bro,
you
they
wanted.
offered Gilbert Arenas 106.
Right.
So when Nelly talked to me, they were gonna offer me like $45 million, bro.
So he wasn't really trying to make it right.
So I was like, I'm gonna take this, you know.
So it was still low. He wasn't really trying to make it right. He was just trying to get you to.
Yeah, and at that point, like Nelly I don't know what kind of power Nelly had, but Bobby Rao, it just wasn't gonna happen. And that's how Bobby Rao and Chris Mullin and everybody started falling out. Because Chris Mullin, remember, he came to me and was like, yo, bro, I got you. When we was in Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
When we was in Hawaii, he was like, yo, bro, I got you. We gonna get this right. So everybody thought I was gonna get paid in Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I came back. When we came back home, I was like, I didn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, fuck it, let's go hoop.
So you get to the Clippers. Young Blake Griffin, you kind of start really the Lob City era.
For sure.
There. For
sure.
What was that experience like? Talk about the basketball experience, but then also talk about, because I remember playing one time against you and how fucked up Sterling was, and you, man, he just been doing this and that to me. So talk about the basketball, then talk about the Sterling shit too.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Sterling lucky I didn't do something crazy to him. Got every opportunity to.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like at a point where I was like, maybe this is something God want me to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I had never really dealt with, I won't even call it racism, bro. It was like he was a hate everybody is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And he was prejudiced and he didn't give a fuck about people. You know what I mean? And I was his highest paid employee at the time. And he would talk to everyone but me. And I remember telling him one time, I said, he was like, you just don't get it. You just don't get it, do you? I said, no, you don't get it. I'm your highest paid employee. You have yet to talk to me. So I don't give a fuck what you do. He was like, I walked off. I'm the highest person you've ever paid, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't no fucking dummy. You know what I mean? And so it was just a lot of like, he was upset that I was the highest paid. Also, like, I'm playing for Dunleavy, and so Dunleavy wants control. You know what I'm saying? And he wants Chris Kaman to be the guy because he wants to lean in towards the big guys, you know, and fuck, Chris Kaman's sorry as fuck. I mean, he's talented, but he's sorry. Right? We ain't gonna win no games throwing the ball at Chris Kaman.
Absolutely not.
Right? But and then he was like, and like his shit was ISO. If somebody was ISOing and cooking, that's who we going with. And I'm like, yo, it's a long ass fucking game. Can we get some transition buckets? You know, it's like every shot felt like you were under a microscope or you felt like you were in a structure, you know what I mean, that you couldn't pay. And I remember my second year, Dean Demopoulos, he was like, yo, bro, you're a fucking Picasso. Like whatever box they give you, just go paint. And then that was like the next year, if you saw it, I think Chris Kaman made the All-Star. But the next year is like, because Blake got hurt, the next year I was just like doing whatever I wanted. The third year I come in hurt. That's when Blake take off. And then when I come in playing with Blake, I was still hurt. But like for that month, it was like nobody could fuck with us, bro. You know what I mean? And I would just slang, like I'd get the ball out from half court and throw that motherfucker to Blake. Him and DeAndre, we was bamming. And it was just like we needed better players, you know what I mean, around us to round it out. But it started to feel like promise. And that was Vinny Del Negro. And then Vinny the Snake, I call him. And so Vinny Del Negro wasn't doing nothing but lying, you know what I mean? And then that's when I got traded to Cleveland. But they was like, I was the racist shit, bro. Like every day I come into the Clipper facility, bro. people be crying and shit. Oh, I have to lose my job. He cussed me out, like balling. I'm like, man, fuck him. It's about us. So I had to like go in there and like that shit was crazy because it's like now Golden State was dead. Clippers, that's just fucked up, bro. That is like the dude using he used the Clippers as his marketing tool. Everybody on the Clippers lie for him. Mike Dunleavy is the coach and the GM. So I remember we used to make jokes like, man, motherfuckers better be quiet. Motherfuckers got cameras around here. And I used to be like, man, I don't give a fuck about no cameras. And they be like, shh, better be quiet. Like, you know what I mean? And so it became like a culture of snitching, right? To kind of appease him. You know what I mean? But he didn't give a shit about the team. It was just a trinket, right? And so you were just a handsome black dude. You know what I mean? I watched him parade Blake through the fucking one of his parties, one of his holiday parties, and Vinny Del Negro sat there and watched, and I was like, man, fuck that. You know what I mean? It was just hard for me to like play like that. You know what I mean? And it's like I'm here at home, like, is this what my career is coming to? Like, god damn, dog. Like, what the fuck did I do to play for in this type of shit?
Right.
It's some real bullshit.
So you go to Cleveland, brief stint there. Is New York after that?
New York was after that.
So you find your footing, you're playing well, and you have one of the most devastating knee injuries I've ever seen. Take us back to that time. What was your immediate thought? Was it get back? God damn, what the fuck did I do?
Nah, I started laughing at that point. After that, I slid in front of Swiss Beats and Alicia Keys and shit. Two of my favorite artists. My shit over here, I'm like looking at them. They like, ah. And I'm like, oh man, ain't this a bitch? You know what I mean? Like, fuck it, dog. I just started laughing and dudes was like, man, I was like, put that shit in. They put it in. And then at that point, it was just like,
The
that
kneecap
shit was
came out?
over. I dislocated my kneecap, tore my
Blew up?
ACL, MCL, everything, bro. Everything was gone, bro. It was gone. Like my my kneecap was like damn near, I think it was over here. And so I'm sitting on the floor like, nigga, put that shit in. Wow, they put it in. And I was just like, they carried me off on the stretcher, and I was like, damn, dog, I never thought I'd leave an arena in a standing ovation in a stretcher, you know what I mean? And then after that, it was just like, man, fuck it. And I think for me, like when I started like just playing and even playing in the D League and all that, like just coming back, it was just like me trying to find myself again through basketball.
Yeah.
I wasn't really tripping on the NBA because at some point I always envisioned myself never being the veteran dude at the end of the bench taking money, you know what I mean, from some young dude that's coming in that could have promise. You know what I mean? So it was always meant for me to just like, oh, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't want to end up just like holding on. You know what I'm saying? And that year in New York, I walked in and my back was fucked up. So they were like, yo, we'll take a chance on you. You know what I mean? I was like, all right, cool. And then next thing you know, I'm playing. Jeremy Lin gets hurt and he's supposed to come back. He 85% healthy. And he's like, nah, I ain't coming back because he ain't want to fuck up, his little insanity because he knew he was going to get paid. So I just, I felt like that was like low key, like kind of coward. You know what I mean? Because I'm fucking holding it down and I'm playing like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I'm getting shots like my back. So it was just like, it was bound to happen. And I never forget we was in the playoffs. I told Shump, because he tore his ACL the game before. And I was like, man, don't worry about it, dog. I finally found my shit, my magic, dog. I'm gonna work out with you every day. You know what I mean? Like shit. So take a month off. And then I heard my shit. And then I was like, all right, well shit. Time to go write the movies, dude. I'm done. You know what I mean? This shit hurt.
One thing about you, though, is you've always had your mind in business, even back in college. So the ones you said is that transition switch hit for you, you were ready to hit that probably folks better than anybody.
Folks!
Better than better than most athletes. And talk
Legend.
to us where that mindset came from. the business mindset?
Man, just being curious. I think that comes from just like being curious, afraid to fail. Like when they said I was like athletes go broke, I was like
That scared you.
scared the shit out of me.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
so I
it
wanted
would.
to know where every dollar was that I spent, got robbed, got cheated, misinvested, overinvested, bad deal. You know what I mean? Like at least I know.
Mhm.
Because I just don't believe this shit. You know what I mean? And so at every moment, it was more so like a fear, but that fear made me just like hold up, do the research, and then be like, fuck it, dog. Like, I'm not gonna, I'm probably not gonna ever be as great as I need to be or have the legacy that I need to be, but you know, fuck it. I'm gonna walk these steps. I'm gonna miss out on cash. I'm gonna miss out on shit. But if I walk the walk that I want to walk, then when it's time to like tell my story, hopefully like the people are in line that I fuck with to do that. You know what I mean?
Talk a little bit about you touched on it earlier, but how did the actual vitamin water situation come? Because you were a big piece of that I don't think a lot of people know.
Yeah, so I was due up, you know, I just got the max, so I was due up for sneaker deal and like a beverage deal or whatnot. And I think it was Sprite. And my boy was at Sprite, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get your deal done, and then I'm leaving. I'm just letting you know I ain't gonna be working with you. You're gonna be working with somebody else. They haven't brought somebody else in. I'm gonna be leaving." I'm like, "Where the fuck you going?" He's like, "I'm going to a company called Vitamin Water." And I was like, "Vitamin Water? Hell no, dog. That shit nasty. Rico be drinking that shit, and that shit be giving me diarrhea at his workouts. You know what I mean? Don't do that shit, bro. That shit ain't cool." He was like, "Nah, they're great founders, a great company." He was like, "It's a startup, so they learning, they switching the flavoring." And I was like, "But Rico love that shit." And Rico used to always drink vitamin waters. He used to
Jack
always
love
drink them
vitamin
shit.
water. That's Jack shit.
And so I was like, damn, vitamin,
Oh shit.
water,
Got one
like
right
that's
here.
kind of like the wave of the future. You know what I mean? That's like the future, dog. Like vitamin and water. If I can fucking, get the taste right, or like the shit can sit on my stomach, I'm cool. And so he was like, nah, they fixing the taste. I was like, well, if you leaving Sprite, I'm going with you.
Mm.
I want to learn that shit. Teach me, dog. Like, let me work for you. He was like, we can't afford you. I was like, man, you can afford me. Like, I don't need the money. You know what I mean? Like, fucking give me the money in equity or something. Like, how much money you got? I was like, 45,000. I was like, man, get that shit to me and stop. Just put it, don't even give me no cash. Matter of fact, let me get this. What if I get on TV? What if I do this? What if I do this? And then I just started like thinking of shit because at the same time I was doing my Reebok deal. Now, on my Reebok deal, nigga, I had plane. I was the first dude to negotiate the plane. I was the first dude to negotiate a car. I was one of the first dudes to negotiate money to Foundation and AAU,
Mhm.
right? So it was like a double hit, and the merchandise, which was a triple hit. I negotiated. I get a jersey signed, but I get every jersey they make. I get like up to 5 of those jerseys. Dumbass, I should have kept them shit. So, and I used to get all the players after the game to sign their jersey. So it was just all that vacation. My deal was so like incentive heavy and it was like less cash because what I figured out was rappers use the record label money to like pay for their lifestyle. So I was like, all right, I just use Reebok to pay for my lifestyle. I got my NBA contract as my nest egg. You know what I mean? So like put more money into all the goofy shit that I need, right? So I can have a plane, you know what I mean? And shit like that. But then the vitamin water thing is like, I don't even want no money. Just give me the stock. And then I started watching this company just start like growing. It went from the bodega, like it was at the W, then it was at the bodega. Then when we was with the Warriors, I would leave because they would have these regional meetings. So I would have to go and meet like all the sales reps and shit. And then at one point it was like 50 people. And the next time it was like 250. And that's when I started learning like, oh shit, like then Tata came in, bought in like 30%, and I got a big check. I was like, bro, this is a way bigger check than what I'm gonna get than I would have got at Sprite over the last 3 years. And I have more coming. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like how I got into it. It was me saying like, yo, I'm gonna represent myself. I'm gonna figure out my worth. I knew I wanted to make music. I knew I wanted to make movies. You know what I mean? I knew I wanted to be a creative, right? And so I wanted people to spend money on me that way. You know what I'm saying? So I can have like the opportunity to do that shit for other players. So I was just using myself as an agent, as a player, as a marketing, as like a test case for if I did want to be an agent or anything else for like the next generation, marketing, whatever it was.
So directing debut, Dominoes, the Drew League doc. Two things I think that are dope though is your Slick platform and what you're doing with Black Santa. Can you talk about those?
Yeah, I say for me, Black Santa changed my life because I actually started having to live right, because it just kind of like, start thinking about I've never met a jolly, friendly, on time, gift giving, positive Black man in my life. And so with that, it was like, damn, bro, like we don't have that. Growing up, we ain't never seen that. And the shit kind of funny. And so why don't we create that for Black Santa? And then with him, let's have him be the celebration of characters and cultures and holidays and things like that. So everybody has a story to tell, right? And what better person to be like the DJ, the host, than, a Black Santa Claus because he's different.
Right.
You know what I mean? He is the minority. And so, with Black Santa is just really like the first wave was like just get out t-shirts, things like that to your people, get the support, but like work on the story. So now the content and the storytelling aspect around it is something that my kids want to see, they learn to grow into, right? We as adults want to see and help our kids, right? But other cultures can also see us in a different light. So when you think about Trayvon Martin, when you think about, our perception, you feel what I'm saying? Our perception in society is fucked up. And it's because of our perception that and the stories that people are articulating that are our stories. You know what I mean? And so I was like, fuck that. Black Santa, yo, is positive. Black Santa is inclusive. Black Santa is about like the beauty of being Black in his world. You know what I mean? And all the Blackness that you can find, we're gonna go find that treasure. Right. So for Black History Month, we do a coloring book, right? With all the Black figures that, I'm finding out, I already knew, but it just gives us an opportunity to create characters that can tell stories, that can educate our kids, educate others, and now they have a more invitable palette when they're dealing with us. You know what I mean? And I think that has always been what's happened to us in society, bro. Is like motherfuckers want to pigeonhole us to these stereotypes.
Yeah.
They want to keep you where you at. Remember we
Right.
talked about this. They
Long time
want to
ago.
keep you where you at, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so like we gotta keep breaking the ceiling. We gotta keep jumping out the crab barrel and tipping the bucket over. And I think storytelling for Black Santa was like the best way to address it and to say, hey, what stories you got? Hey, when I link them, DK Donuts, my favorite donut store place here in LA, Asian donut store. We're doing an animation for them, right? And like just we want stories, man. We want our cultures to collide so we become the new Renaissance. And then I think with Slick is really just about like stories like We Believe, like us telling the story. You know what I mean? It's like you're a director and producer. You're a producer. You're like it's the shit don't work unless it's collaborative and everybody kind of pouring in. So sports, lifestyle, and culture is not just we not just sports. You know what I mean? We everything in between. Like WTF is not even sports, but it's like, if you want to be an actor, you want to do stuff, like come to Slick and we'll create and kind of build formats, for artists, for athletes to be able to like, fuck, man, tell our story, do what we want to do. And so that's what I'm on now.
So talk to me a little bit about the cannabis space and the progress you see in professional sports, particularly basketball.
I mean, you guys are pioneers with Al. I would say cannabis is probably a thing that, should be passed, right? I love the way that the NBA has adopted it. I feel like it's better than drinking. You know what I'm saying?
Pills.
Yeah, people taking pills and all that, and it's like you can manage somebody who smokes a lot of weed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can have a conversation with somebody, probably a long conversation.
Too long.
With somebody who smokes a lot of weed. So I don't
Real
think
long.
that, and like it's known to be like a healing agent and have all these kind of nutrients that our bodies need.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why we was blowing and smoking, you know what I mean? After the games was like, shit, man, we smoke and watch the game,
Relax.
drink a gang of water. Man, we used to just drink a gang of water, be like, all right, bro, when I wake up,
We used
I'ma
to smoke
feel
and watch.
right.
We used to smoke and
Watch
watch
film,
and
game
watch
film.
Game film. That was crazy,
eight dudes
man.
in a row.
Eight dudes watching
8 dudes
game
in the
film.
room. We go to my spot or your spot, and we'll
Watch
sit there and
game
smoke
film.
and watch film. That's
Real
crazy,
quick,
bro.
I want to take us back to the one car trip where we just landed in the Bay and we about to go smoke at my house
Biggie.
and who was riding with us?
Oh, so we get in the car, right?
Where my dog?
They right there. They right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scoop, remember this? So
My
we get.
dog.
Tell this story.
We on the way to Scoop crib, right?
I think it was mine.
No,
We
we was pulling up in my house.
Okay.
1200
Yeah.
Lakeshore.
Yeah, it was yours, yeah.
I was driving. That's all I remember.
And you was driving.
Yeah.
And me and Matt getting out the car, about to go up. We had just got back from Utah, right?
Yeah.
And we getting out the car and Beatty like, yo, Jack, the homie Pac rooting for us. I'm like, I looked at Matt, I'm like, all right.
Okay.
Me and Matt like, okay, cool.
No, you know where that came from, though.
What?
Because remember we was in Dallas.
The homie Spoon.
Is that
The homie Spoon.
Staring at
The
the
homie
rain
Spoon.
through the rear
Yeah,
view.
He was like, hey, man. He was like, hey, man, I'm telling you, bro. Y'all Warrior niggas on that Pac shit, man. You know what y'all doing to these Dallas boys? We was like, what?
That shit was deep though.
Staring at the world through your rear view. I was like,
yeah, that's what he said.
Hey,
That's
he
what
had
y'all
me
doing tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, he had me gassed up.
This how he came in. He was like, it was real quiet in the room. And first he was like, oh, that's Monte Ellis? I thought you was just one of the Tribe Called Quest. He didn't know it was Monte right there, dog.
He was snapping, bro.
classic.
Hey, it was like,
Shout out
who
Spoon.
brought
Quiet,
hey,
though.
dog,
Shout
who
out-
brought this dude? Shout out
That was
Spoon.
the homie Spoon.
He said,
But that's
man,
where
I'm
it started.
telling you, man, like, man, y'all boys out there thugging, man. Y'all boys out there thugging, man. You know, and you know what you're doing, bruh.
Huh.
Staring at them boys in your rear view, like Pac said. Oh, man, I took that with me all the way to Oakland. I was riding with him all day.
But look, the guy we talking about is the same guy who created the word trill. The world don't know that. He's from my hometown, and that's the creator of the word trill.
Mm.
That's
Word.
crazy.
Yeah, he deep like that.
Shout out Spoon.
Shout out Spoon.
Yeah, but I did. I was like, man, yeah, you know.
He said first he
I
said
was trying to get y'all motivated.
you did. He was like Pac ride with
I
us.
was
And
definitely ready to smoke.
then when we get upstairs, he's like, come out the elevator. He's like, oh yeah, Jack,
Big
the
too.
homie Big too.
The legends is fucking with us, bro.
Oh shit. Hey, we coming down the stretch. Quick
Yep.
hitters. First thing that comes to mind. Who are your top 5-point gods?
Gods.
Isaiah Thomas, John Stockton, Magic Johnson, Jason Kidd,
Mm.
and Steph Curry.
Ooh.
Dope. Soundtrack to your life. 3 songs in rotation.
So Many Tears.
Yep. Pac.
The Lauryn Hill song, the last song on the album. Now I know.
Oh yeah.
Third song would be Michael Jackson, Almost There.
Okay.
Okay. 3
I
legends.
just knew it was gonna be some nip or some Dr. Dre in there somewhere.
Oh, I mean,
You only got 3 though.
yeah. Nip is the album.
Okay.
Nip is the album
Album.
to my life.
Okay, bet.
If they were to make a biopic, Who would play you?
Who would play me? I would say
I know who would play you.
Webster.
No, I know who would play you. Hey, what was her boyfriend name on Fred Sanford? What was his best friend name? The one, Esther husband.
What was his name? Grady?
Grady? No, not Grady. Her husband. Grady was his homeboy. The one that used to drink all the time. That's who would play you, her husband.
Was it Rollo?
Nah, it wasn't Rollo. His name wasn't Rollo. I'll get out the show.
I was thinking about that, man. I was thinking like
You got a hell of a story.
Yeah, who could probably play me? I would say somebody like Lil Duval.
Lil
Duval.
No. I wouldn't say Lil Duval.
Michael B. Jordan.
Maybe.
No way.
I can see
Maybe.
that.
No way.
Why not? What you mean?
Actually, he could. But can he hoop?
They know how to go into character, bro.
Can he hoop?
You could teach him.
I think he's good enough to figure it out.
I think Michael B. Jordan is like too handsome. You know what I mean? That nigga gonna take away from me. You know what I mean? I ain't fucking with that nigga.
You gotta find a diamond in the rough.
Yeah, we gotta find an ugly nigga to play me.
Nah, but look,
Dude, it's crazy.
It's a little
like
kid.
Hannibal Buress or somebody. Like somebody, it's like, that nigga don't even look like BD. You know what I mean? Or like Lamar Morris. Somebody who like a straight nerd. You know what I mean? Just like a nigga just off. Like it don't even look like him.
It's some kid in your neighborhood that know all about you, that know the same demographic you from, that can play that role.
Oh yeah,
I guarantee you.
I let it be a kid. Yeah, for sure.
Go ahead.
Top 5 sneakers of all time.
You know I ain't no sneaker person, Jack.
You been wearing? Nah, you been coming with.
But I don't really like know the names. Shit, I just
you wore them
Penny Hardaways.
You wore them Lee Nings.
I know I did. It's the label that paid me. They used to pay me, and then
he say Lee Nings.
Stock went down when they let me go. Stock went down when they let me go, though.
Did you hear a song?
Absolutely.
What was the song
Lee
again?
Ning is the label that paid me. Come on, bro. I used to say that shit. People like, you got on Lee Nings. They paying though, bro. They going. They going. I got shoes in the market.
Oh my God.
5 dinner guests, dead or alive. You plus
man.
5.
All my dogs over here.
The wall,
Right
huh?
here.
It's the wall.
Yeah, I break bread with them, and then I break bread with, I have 5 women I have to break bread with. You know what I mean? You got my grandmother, you got Harriet Tubman, you got my Angelou, rest in peace, Cicely Tyson. And the last one would be Jackie Joyner Kersey.
Ooh, good call.
Good call. Last question, bro.
No, there's one more after this, but go ahead.
Oh, you got another one?
Yeah.
Who do you want on All the Smoke? Who do you want to see on All the Smoke?
Chris Webber.
We just had him. Just had him.
I like to see Chuck D.
Ooh.
You know what? That's funny. I
like
talked to
that.
him like 3 weeks
I like
ago.
to see Chuck D on the show.
I talked
like
to him
that.
like 3 weeks ago. That's
And then I like to see Isaiah Thomas.
Ooh.
Yes.
Real quick, before we finish, your connection with Kobe. What he meant to you.
Bro, when I was here, like, when I was in high school, and when Kobe got to the Lakers, it was my senior year,
right?
So Kobe was like, the pinnacle. And when he came here, he fucked with me. I'll never forget, like, they took me to his house, and I was like, oh, what's up, bro? You want to go hang out? And he was like, nah, bro, I'm going to sit here and watch these tape. I'm like, well, nigga, we can do that tomorrow. You know what I mean? He was like, nah, I'm going to be watching tape tomorrow. I'm like, oh, shit, like, probably won't be hanging out with this dude. You know what I mean? But he would come to the gym, and, like, me and Kobe always had, like, this, when we see each other, we was like bros.
Mutual respect.
And then, like, I remember when he was in therapy, I was in physical therapy, like, every morning. Like, I was the only person I felt like would fuck with Kobe. You know what I mean? He had these dark-ass glasses on in physical therapy. I'm like, motherfucker, you blind? You sleep? And he wake up, motherfucker, what you talking about? You know what I mean? And we just be going back and forth. So it was like, for me, I always wanted to, like, pay homage to him because he was like a big bro. You know what I mean? And almost like a god. And then at the same time, I knew like all the shit he was going through. So every time I seen him, I always like, Kobe is one dude every time I saw, I was, I made sure he knew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, nigga, if it's God, nigga, you are Jesus to us. You feel what I'm saying? To this game, to this hoop. And, you know, we just always had that like connected fabric. I remember interviewing him, you know, for ESPN, the magazine. Like, I believe it was like after the Colorado shit. You know, it was just always like receptive to me and shit. And I remember being with the Knicks, and before I got hurt, he was like, yo, we gonna play one-on-one. If I beat you, you gotta come to the Lakers next year. And then I was like, well, shit, dog, like, you ain't gonna beat me. What do I get if I win? He was like, I speak to some kids at your basketball camp. I said, nigga, get your ass. Fucked up. Some bread or something, dog.
Yeah.
But that's how Kobe was. He was like, yeah, I'll go speak to the kids at your camp. I was like, that's what's up. But he was my dog.
Absolutely. Rest in peace. Last thing real quick. We got someone who's been mentioned on our show more times than anybody in the building. So we got to bring him in front of the camera real quick. Come on, Term. Come up real quick.
Come on, Term.
Make your appearance, Term.
Yeah, you got the most.
Come on. He got the most mentions.
He
got the most mention in all the smoke history. So come sit on the couch, baby.
Come be on the couch.
Take a seat real quick. Term, I mean, this is, like you said, this is who.
Term, they about to find out who you are.
You saw Baron on the biggest stage, but this is, you know, his best friend, grown up, family. You know what I mean? And I just think it's dope. We want to give you a shout out, man, because so many people have mentioned you, from Wayne to BD to KG to Paul to... So everybody. We just wanted to give you a little shine.
Make sure you edit this, that's all. It's my dog.
You're right there, for real.
It's my left hand, it's my dog.
We talk about the We Believe. He has to be on the documentary.
Oh, you're right in the middle
Absolutely.
of it.
He's right in the
middle
heart of it.
Hey, bro, he traded with y'all.
Hey, man.
You got traded with us?
Hey, man, Fat Rat. No, I wanted to see what you was going to say about it.
But on all the episodes we had, all the episodes we have for all our fans, all our listeners,
this is
all our loyal fans.
This is on.
This is the Terminator everybody's talk about. Our brother, been
point
our
guard,
brother. Yeah, point
dictator.
Yeah, he's a point
He
guard.
wants you to know that too.
He's a point guard.
The one and only, the lefty. Hey, man, that's a wrap. Another edition of All the Smoke. Thank you, Baron, Term, Jack. Great show. You can find us on Showtime Basketball YouTube and iHeart platform, Black Effect.
So many things, he don't even get what to say. Shit.
See y'all next week.
I know y'all ain't ready. It's cracking, y'all. I'm over here rehearsing for this domino tournament. Now I got this obligation.
Why are you going to Cabo and I'm going to Compton?
Oh, I hope you got 9 lives.
I want the whole world to see me whoop that tweaking bullet.
And so when Miss Jeffries cash that check, then we can go.
I ain't seen you in a good minute, bro.
Chris, we just want to know where you're going, mija.
To practice for the domino tournament.